and welcome to your energy update for the week of January 20th. I'm Wendy Gerhart, and today is actually a very significant day as in the astrology, many of you may have heard or may have seen the memes where we have six planets that are actually aligning today, which is a fascinating event, as well as we have Pluto that is conjuncting the sun. So lots of sort of like spiritual awareness, growth, things that are really available for us today. You may start to recognize some heightened energies around your spiritual gifts. All is part of this, when we talk about being in the year of the snake, in history, the year of the snake has really been associated with very significant tower moments globally. Now, couple that with a year nine. And a year nine, which is all about completion, which is all about anything that is not in alignment, is going to have to go, move, be gone. We're definitely only 20 days in, and we have seen already how we're going to kind of be on this whirlwind globally this year. So let's jump in. Let's see what the energy is for this coming week. So we began with the Ten of Pentacles. Now, Ten of Pentacles represents completion energy. It's also this very abundant, lots of financial windfalls, often associated with finance, but also can be associated with um, abundance of I don't know, I can't think of the word right now. Do you know what I mean? Like wisdom of beauty, of love. So it can mean multitude of things, but it's a very auspicious card to get, and we're starting off with that one. So I love where this is going already. And then this is coupled with we have the wood nymph, which is beauty. And this is number 52. So this is the energy of a seven. And then we have Queen Ariel. Now, interestingly enough, you also see this is very opulent energy. She's got a chandelier, even though it looks like she's outside. Everything's kind of like dressed up. Um, yeah. Okay, so we have Ten of Pentacles. We have the wood nymph. And so like the wood nymph is kind of like a Greek mythological type of energy. Think of it like a siren. You know how like they would talk about the sailors and these beautiful like mermaids would sing and intoxicate the energies of the sailors and blah blah blah. Although it's not necessarily meant to be like they're gonna to put a spell on them. What I mean is there is this they're usually in the forest and they just they're bathing under the moonlight. They have like this golden glorious glittering clothes and skin. And so it really just represents this very like beauty, like this inner beauty. So when we talk about the energy that has been going on within on the world stage, we recognize that there's a lot of ugliness that is sort of being brought to the surface as we're really going to go through this year, sort of a collective dark night of the soul. So it is a lot of ugliness, a lot of chaos, a lot of turmoil, a lot of like waking up to the truth sort of energy that is coming in on a collective basis. Now, here is the thing, is that it feels like that ugliness is being brought to the surface to sort of it's clearing out. Okay? It is clearing out, it is making way for us to recognize that there is a beauty in what is happening, and the beauty is in the awakening. The beauty is in the awareness that collectively is happening, that is rising, the spiritual essence, the rebirth that is coming into higher levels of consciousness, higher levels of being, higher levels of moving collectively throughout the world. While these events may appear horrific, can we find it's like we're clearing the idea and we're becoming into this awareness around how what feels like is very dark and how what feels is very evil and harmful, how it is actually serving to bring in the most beautiful, harmonious, uh, spiritual growth, uh, physical growth, mental growth, growth of humanity. And you can see some of this, right, as evident when we talk about, for example, the fires in California. And often when there is something tragic that happens, how humanity comes together, how the best parts of us rally and come together and say, let me do my part. What can I do? How can I help? How can I lift? And you see people donating money and donating clothes and food banks and everyone rallying. And so this is the beauty that happens on the other side of what feels like something very ugly. And so as we clear out the ugly, we recognize actually the ugly was fueling the beauty. It is from the shadow to the light, from the shadow to the light, from the shadow to the light. And so we're starting to have a little bit more awareness this week, perhaps personally, as to how things have there have been things in your life that have felt like very challenging, very hard. Perhaps it felt like this is I'm hearing the word curse, like that have felt like a curse, that have felt like too much. And now can you see the gift? And now can you see how it's serving you? Now can you see how it's your greatest strength? So we're moving, right? We're doing this dance right now where we're moving from the dark to the light, from the dark to the light, from the dark to the light. And so allow the beauty within you. Recognize we're beginning to awaken and recognize the beauty that exists within us, even if we don't understand it, even if it looks a little ugly, we're beginning to see how it's beautiful, how it's serving a purpose, how it's actually not ugly. It's not ugly, that's a perception. And can you begin to recognize the value in all of it, the entire dance? And how allowing yourself to do this is a completion, right? From dark to light, from dark to light. We're moving into the light. And when you find that beauty, when you find that abundance, when this is that some people will call it in physical manifestation, that financial windfall. But it's like the gold at the end of the rainbow kind of vibe is what it feels like. A lot of awareness, a lot of recognition coming in. And it, it's a good week to also nurture yourself, like to revel in this beauty that you're experiencing, perhaps to allow that you to expand that into your space. Go buy flowers. Go buy a new outfit. Go that makes you feel beautiful. Go, put a new vase, reorganize your space, kind of energy, and allow something that perhaps felt disorganized or chaotic, allow you, like reorganize it, bring it into beauty, into a way that feels good and flowy for you. And then we have the Eight of Wands. So again, this eight sort of infinity, abundance, and also karmic energy, which often has a lot to do with, well, it can have something to do with travel, but usually there's like a speed to the Eight of Wands, and it can have something to do with messages, like being a messenger type of energy. Now, it is coupled with the wolf spirit, which this says family behind it. And we have card 51. And then we have 10 of Ariel. Okay, so in 10 of Ariel, you can see there's France. And again, we've been in several months of kind of clearing the energy off of France. And when we talk about clearing the energy of France, right, a lot of this has to do, for example, with the the corruption, this is very old, right? Long time ago energy. We're not talking about necessarily present day. The Mary Magdalene, off of the sacral, the whore, kind of like a misrepresented, misunderstood sort of energy that we're clearing. We're clearing behind what things have been said in the past. And so, very interesting that we do have this in France here. And it says, there is so very much to be grateful for: financial success and the promise of retirement, a rich and rewarding family life. So, interestingly enough, within this card, we once again we have two women talking. So when we're talking about France, I'm also getting this dynamic between what is perceived to be the feminine and the light, and the feminine in the dark feminine, and what has felt like a division between the two, a blame shame kind of energy between the two. It feels like this is clearing this week, continuing to clear, I should say, and which is really, really fascinating. And we also have where it talks about financial success. Again, we already had the Ten of Pentacles, and then a rich and rewarding family life. So again, this bringing us back to what feels like to me the energy of sisters. This is very much a Gemini. It reminds me of a Gemini energy where it's almost like you have the two opposing sides, two sides of the same coin, where one may have been at odds with the other, thinking a subconscious, right? This is a subconscious story about the dark feminine, believing that and we have cleared a lot of this already, but this continuation of clearing off any ideas that the feminine is dark, that there is no dark feminine. Okay, the feminine is solar, but we have a perception as to what is light and what is dark. But in fact, when we talk about, for example, these tower moments, as I talked about just a few moments ago, how it rises the ugliness to the surface, it purges it and brings us into the light, which means it serves a purpose. And it's not actually dark, it is all light. It is just that the dark is the quote unquote dark, right, is perceived as dark because it is perceived as the energy that causes the pain, the chaos, the loss, all of those things. And yet it is delivering us into beauty. Yet it is delivering us into financial abundance. Yet it is delivering us into reconnection. Yet it is delivering us into more spiritual awake. It is the energy that delivers us into the lessons that we are here to learn. And so we're beginning to have these revelations and these remembrances, or remembering, right? Remembering that it's time for us to clear our understanding of good, bad, right, wrong, all of these sort of ideas. And when we talk about the wolf spirit, so interestingly enough, I mean, wolves run in packs, right? And they all have their own position within the pack that is very well defined. They're very protective of each other. They're very supportive. They have each other's back, and they're very good communicators. So it feels like this is again a nod to recognizing that you too have a pack, you too have a family that has your back. Now, family can mean different things for different people. It could be your physical family, it could be your chosen family, it could be your spiritual family, whomever you associate with your family. It is now you're being encouraged, right, from this new level of awareness as this beauty begins to, the spiritual, this beautiful essence within you begins to grow and expand, to know it is safe for you to, and this very much feels like it relates to this Eight of Wands, these messages, to begin to speak from your center of your being, to know you're safe to completely speak and express yourself. Now, for those of you who have felt like you're very triggering to people, I can raise my hand on that one. or have fear being seen as dark. Recognize that your family has your back. There are people who support and love you no matter what. And you're here, remember, if you're here to be the activator that brings people out of the ugliness and into the light, without you, there is no transformation. Without your words, there is no transformation. Without you, your words, your expression, there is no awakening. I can't think of a single person who has told me, tell me about your story of how you've gotten here, and everyone starts talking about how they've been waking up. And it never started with, it was a beautiful day and everything was amazing, and I just decided to wake up. It was my life fell apart. My life fell apart. I got sick. I lost somebody. Something happened. And all of a sudden, I said, enough. So recognize that you two serve a purpose and you are two are the light. You're not the dark. The dark is a perception and it is just a polarity that is giving way, right, to the transformation. And so allow yourself to be seen, heard, witnessed, communicate your truth, your messages, your voice, so that without fear that you will be perceived as wrong or dark or all of these things, while there will be people that do that, just remember that that's because they don't remember. Have compassion and remember that if they are acting that way, it is because they are triggered, and then congratulations, you did your job, and they don't remember. So allowing yourself to really open up that voice more and to become the facilitator for the awakening of humanity, for the collective rebirth into the sun, into the solar light, and into this abundance, this age of revolution will deliver us into more art, more creativity, more joy, more bliss if we allow ourselves to be the conduits, the catalyst for this shift that humanity so deeply uh, is in need of. But just remember that often when we are in the shadow, we don't know what we don't know. Which brings us to we have the Emperor reversed. And so usually this has something to do, again, a very masculine energy. Control energy is what I'm getting. The stubbornness is like wanting to hold on to the way things are or have been. And it's coupled with, we had this recently as well, the meandering path, which talks about flow. And you'll see you've got, again, a man here. And it's, his path is winding. He's got a bit of a winding path there. And then we have Epiphany. And this is the number 9. This is Archangel Raziel, which often has to do with spiritual gifts and joy through spiritual growth, be a light to others, answers that come through meditation. And what's interesting is you'll see that you may be able to see on here, he is also on a path. And it's pretty dark, but he's got his lantern. And so this is really, we're starting to let go of control here around thinking that the path needs to be direct, that we need to know all the answers before we walk, before we move, that we need to have, perhaps there has been some energy in your past where you felt like if you weren't in control, that you wouldn't get what you wanted. Or if you weren't in control, then you would be taken advantage of. And so it perhaps served you previously to want to know how things were going to go exactly. And because we're in this sort of radical shift in identity, this radical global awakening, this radical um, death and rebirth sort of cycle, things that we thought were the path may soon become obvious to us were not. Or we'll leave it at that because you can interpret that a million different ways, right? This is letting go of who you thought you were or how you thought this was supposed to go because most of who you have thought you were and most of what you thought you wanted was as a result of a collective energy that was very much in shadow frequency and people, you really taking on what other people wanted or said made them happy. It was like looking to the outside to figure out who am I and what I want. And now it's like, but that may not be your truth. And so we're learning to let go of I am going for this to recognize there might be something higher. There might be something better. There might be something more evolved. There might be something that I hadn't even considered before. And so it's remembering all those times that you thought you knew what you wanted and you didn't get it. And in hindsight, you're so grateful. In hindsight, you're like, I thought I wanted to marry this person. And now that I'm with my significant other now, I'm so grateful that didn't work out. It's that sort of energy to where you're being asked to really let go of control so that the information, the epiphanies, the spiritual guidance can come in and you can begin to move through flow. Now, allowing yourself to move through flow again is to acknowledge and allow the ride to be beautiful, to find the beauty, even when the ride feels like this is not what I wanted, this is not what I signed up for. Allow yourself to recognize that at the next, turn, at the next corner, all of a sudden you might begin to see the light. All of a sudden you might have the clarity. All of a sudden you might have the realization, and you just can't see it right now. And so we're being asked to let go, to trust, to let go of the control, to begin to stand in our center of being and to step up to be the activators, to be the catalyst, to be the ones who are really helping to move this planet where it needs to go, even if it is misunderstood, even if it is seen as something that it is not. Know in your heart and your essence, your family has your back, that there is a world of people out here who are being asked to do the same thing, that we begin to come together, we begin to hold and lock arms and recognize that we are all serving the same purpose. We just may be serving it differently. And then we have the Sun card, which is very much optimism, good fortune, success, and being the sun. I shine my own light. I am the light. And recognizing, right, that when you do these things, you are the light. Don't let anybody who doesn't remember, who doesn't have the awareness, tell you differently. You're going to need to stand rooted in your own knowing that what I am doing serves a beautiful purpose, even if the person across from me doesn't see it yet. And we have the dragon fly spirit, and this says change. And so when we're talking about this is the energy of 12 or energy of 3, which is master number, creator, creation. It's okay to change direction. So again, this is coming back to that path, right? It's okay to change directions. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to change your perception. It's okay to let go of expectations of how this is supposed to look, about how what you do is supposed to look like, how what you're here to do is supposed to look like, and how it's going to turn out. It's okay. It's okay for things to change. It's okay to not know. It's okay to just allow things to be in flow and just be shown what you need to be shown as you need to be shown it, to be in this flow and to know you're supported the whole way through. And this is coupled with the leap of faith here. And this is Archangel Metatron. Now, when we talk about Archangel Metatron, this is our Merkaba energy. He essentially encompasses all of the other energies of the archangels within him. This is like, think of this like 13th frequency. Okay. This is, of course, he has the infinite, the zero, the infinite. And it says, believe in yourself, listen to your heart, and do what gives you joy. So we have the sun, be the light, optimism, joy, know your power, know your worth, recognize who you are, and step in. Use your voice. Say your messages that need to be said, even if you have previously had fear. Express yourself, and it's okay. If doing that or doing anything, letting go of control or letting in the beauty or becoming an activator or any of these things wasn't how you thought this was going to go. And it's also okay to let things go, for things to change, for things to not be. I was actually watching a couple days ago because my son has been sick, Kung Fu Panda, the fourth one with my son. And it was interesting because the little red panda, I can't think of his name right now because I think I want to say the turtle's name, and I don't think that's right. I can't remember what his name, Oogway, but I think Oogway is the was the turtle. I don't know, Shifu maybe. So was saying to the panda, you got to pick a successor because now it is time for you to become a spiritual leader. And the panda was like, but I'm not ready to do that. I want to be the dragon warrior. And the panda kept saying, but that is not your place. Your place is to find a successor and you step up. But the panda was fighting this. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Now, the interesting thing was that it was on the path of this panda, thinking I'm still going to be the dragon warrior, and of course goes after, the next enemy, the great chameleon, which is, the enemy of this, that he discovers the next dragon warrior. So it's okay to at times not feel ready. It's okay to question things. It's okay to, all of this is okay. It's all okay. And as we are in winter energy, there still is a stillness, there is still a patience, there is still a figuring this out. And that is okay. That is okay. But just know that all of this is happening for you so that you can step in to do the work that you're truly here to do to help awaken this planet, to bring it higher into the higher frequencies of light and remembrance as to who each and every one of us truly is and what it is and how we are here to live. Okay, so that is the energy for the week of the 20th. That begins today. I look forward to seeing you all next week on next week's energy update.